Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Phontomen, and welcome to today's show. Today we're dispensing with the pre-show because I'm gonna be rained on pretty hard here in my current location, but we should be okay. But, well, if the power goes out and this stream VOD abruptly cuts, you know what happened. But okay, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. We're playing Katawa Shoujo today after taking a small break due to really just lack of energy and also needing to reset my sleeping hours. You see, the thing about Katawa Shoujo is I like Katawa Shoujo, so I want to come at it with a specific amount of energy. And thank you, Martin. Welcome back, sir.
Rainy day stream with extra lemon lube.
you just, come on. Really? I mean, yes, but we could have made it a little bit more presentable with, you know, you like Lily, lemon tea. I mean, who wouldn't fuck your girlfriend on a rainy day? I mean, that sounds nice too, but come on now, be a little bit more presentable here. I have 1,000 followers on Twitter now. Though it's 999, somebody left. Someone's always gonna be funny though. It don't matter though, because I don't really want to surround myself with people who get angry at me and are surprised at me when they actually listen to me talk for more than 5 minutes. Well, we're not on Lily here now, are we, Mr. Shit Taste? Yeah, well, you know what? Fate just happened, sir. Anyway, welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. So it's Cripple Fucker Thursday now? For the moment, yes, we'll probably move back to our normal 5 o'clock, Sunday time slot, after, this week. But then again, well, we'll see how things go. I'm not exactly sure we're gonna finish, Emmy's route today, but, well, we're gonna get as far as we can, and hopefully the power holds out. Okay, so hang on here. Let me just... And the Katawa Shoujo refuses to go full screen. Thanks. Can I get this any large? Nope. Okay, that is the maximum size. Bitch, we just started Act 2. Yes, but I could sit here rambling for a very long time, so long as the power doesn't go out. Sorry about that. But as I was saying, I want to come at Katawa Shoujo with a certain amount of energy because I like it. Unfortunately, this is not me all of the time, though. Especially not these days. But anyway, right, so, you should be ready here. Right, good, right, fine. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. But so, 7 hours. Soap, apples. What are we, what are our saves going to read, I wonder? Why did Emmy drag your computer out into a rainstorm too? Well, this is just a sad side effect of living in Florida.
Money. So, an entire year. I need to manage my money better.
Gundrium, thank you for your support, but yes, you should you should spend more money commissioning Deku. That sounds like $1 million investment. Better than buying Ubisoft stock right now. Living in Florida is sad, isn't it? Well, it's kind of okay. It's somehow the sanest place in the world after 2020, somehow, but it's still Florida. So are we expecting a forever winter stream when co-op drops? Wait, you mean co-op doesn't actually exist currently? That's not a feature that's currently in the game? Actually, no, there is co-op. I've seen people playing co-op. What do you mean? Also, from what I have seen, the majority of negative reviews are from the water system. I've played the Forever Winter. I like it. I understand the complaints about the water system. They're somewhat valid, but I don't think it's that, it adds some peril to the situation, but basically you have a Tarkov wipe every time you don't play the game for long enough. Get water or die. Though, honestly, after playing the game, water's not that hard to find. It really isn't. You have to play the fucking game in order to find the water, but the water drops are not rare. Really, I've been hearing the opposite. Opposite of what, specifically? Also, living in a mobile home in Florida is worse. I'm at the holiday KOA. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate there. The devs have said the water system is temporary. That you can't play with friends. Uh, I swear to God, I saw somebody post that they were playing co-op with people, so that's news to me. I haven't tried to play, I haven't tried to play with anyone currently. More or less, I was just trying to see if the game was going to run properly, or we were going to have Space Marine problems, and the game does use a noticeable amount of way too much background resources, but it should work fine on stream so long as I'm playing everything on low. The game is still perfectly playable. But the water system is... It's not... I don't hate it. I understand why people might hate it, but I honestly don't hate it. I'm more pleased with the fact that we finally have a Tarkov-like game that's entirely focused around PvE, because, some people might seem odd to some people, but you know what? I don't want to have to punch out the bouncer to go into a bar just to enjoy the fucking scenery. That then every time I want to go there, I have to do the same fucking thing. So yeah, sometimes I want to enjoy my game without actually having to beat the fun out of other people just to have any. So, this is why I like that game. But from what I can see, it has optimization issues, but the game itself is pretty fine to compelling. The AI pathfinding is noticeably terrible, but I am actually terrified of what will happen when the AI can properly pathfind, because they're not very smart and they have limited line of sight. But every time you have an encounter, you have like 8 dudes in a squad walking towards you, and that's kind of the difficulty of it. Or a giant robot just hot dropping right in front of your extraction point. Or a platoon of heavy tanks. Or apparently, like, 2-story tall, horrifying, cyborg zombie corpse harvesting monsters, which, I'm gonna save that one. I'm gonna save that one for a Necrotica campaign, because this is definitely my neck of the woods here. Have you seen the Toothy Robot? Yeah, I've seen several varieties of the mechs, and I've seen them get into fights. It's very cool. However, I don't want to stand anywhere near it, and would they please put that somewhere else and not directly on top of the drain pipe that my extraction point is in? It's kind of inconvenient. It doesn't overuse background resources, it just handicaps your performance. Well, actually, yeah, actually, I've had Firefox visibly lag in another window while the game is running, so, it does. But we're gonna play that, probably tomorrow, should everything today go right, but let's get on with actually playing the game today, folks. Alright. I made it back to my room and shower in record time. It occurs to me that I've already been up for 4 hours, and class hasn't even started yet. Oh my god, mornings. Oh, handicaps your performance. Oh, right. Katawa Shoujo, on the other hand, does not overuse background resources. You're just slightly handicapped. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. This is going to be a really, really long day. Yeah, yes, it is. I hope I don't fall asleep in class, but for me, that would be the objective. I have an excuse. I was exercising. What were you doing? Also, the hurricane is wobbling like it's more drunk than Martin after Commissar Day. The morning sunlight streaming through my window wakes me up instead of my alarm, and I realize that it must be Sunday. Emmy has kindly denied... Right, is that how he's denied? Right, I know what you did. It's kindly allowed me to sleep in on the weekends. Thanks, bitch. Also, apparently the previous day of school was so unimportant that we didn't need to actually see it. Which is good, because I think we've reached the point where, yes, we go to school, we go to class, we sit next to Misha and Shizune, we do the same fucking thing, and nothing ever happens. I don't actually know if I woke up at all yesterday, or if I just slept through the entire day. My legs groan in protest as I lever myself out of bed. All this running has really taken it out of me. Still, I can't deny that Emmy wasn't lying to me. It has gotten a little easier. A teensy bit. I'm only slightly dead. Fun fact, you can cut the body bags off of that one mech that uses as fuel for loot. Interesting. Horrifying, but interesting. But this is the same game that has apparently zombie corpse piles. Again, the Forever Winter is a very interesting game, and I'm going to be playing it, enjoying it, and also studying it, because, hey, it's about fucking time someone actually noticed that Tarkov has better qualities rather than just being, you know, a extremely tense PvP game. I've been worried that the runs would start to wear on my nerves, but thus far, I haven't minded them that much. You know, it's the cute girl is really what sells it. Blood is fuel, hell is full. Bring water. Well, it's only been a week. I suppose there's plenty of time for me to start dreading the sound of my alarm in the morning. Not that I could ever skip out now. As Emmy said, it's harder to stop a routine when there's another person. And frankly, I don't think I'm equipped to deal with a disappointed Emmy. Sadly, no one is. She'd probably give me those puppy dog eyes, and I feel terrible about myself. Ah, the guilt! Bullshit, it's really easy if you have ADHD. Yes, then you just forget. Which reminds me, wasn't I supposed to be somewhere today? Huh. Hey, you're coming to my track meet on Sunday, right? What am I talking about? Of course you are. Thank you for deciding that for me, Emmy. Right? Those puppy dog eyes again. Of course I'm going. I owe you, right? Exactly, so don't forget, okay? Crap. Emmy's track meet. Oh no! It's Monday morning, or Sunday morning though, so we're probably fine. I better get a move on if I don't want to miss her running, since she's the only reason I'm even considering going. Otherwise, it would defeat the whole purpose of going. And so, I soon find myself quite suddenly surrounded by a crowd of people, all turning out to see our track team compete with another school like this one. Yes, the the other well-known academy for crippled students that doesn't have a name, and we won't be talking about them. Yes. I'll admit, it's almost comforting to know we're not the only school like this. Not that we're gonna talk about anyone else. After you see that there can be two schools with a bunch of defective kids, well, you stop feeling so defective. We're not gonna go into what the second school is, though. Yeah, before regular schools race the crippled school. Now, Martin, it's like what, 2010? We're not there yet. We're not full stupid. You also stop feeling unique, which in most cases would be a bad thing, but in this case, it sure as hell isn't. That's part of Yamaku's appeal, I guess. Learn that you're not unique. Hell, learn that there's a lot of others who would kill to be saddled with your problems instead of whatever they're dealing with. Some kids here aren't here because they're missing a leg or they have a heart condition. Some of them might be here because they're as good as dead in 2, maybe 3 years if they're lucky. And that's only if they get the right sort of care. It's a bitter sort of comfort to be able to say, well, at least I've got a chance of being alive through college, but there it is. The random character's school of disadvantage sucks. Gundrim, it's funny that I accidentally managed to chose random characters to articulate that. Random characters, school of disadvantaged schmucks. Yeah, that fit for a sequel, but thank God no one ever attempted to try to make a sequel to this game because, no. No. It's lovely. No. This is only gonna happen once, in a specific time, from a specific place. Anyone else attempting this will ruin it. Don't go near it. I'm brought out of my rather morbid musings by the appearance of Rin near the entrance to the bleachers. You came. Of course. I said I would, didn't I? That doesn't necessarily imply that you had to follow through. Nail on the head there. Lots of people say things they don't mean, and don't mean them. Well, I don't. Well, that's a fucking lie. Rin shrugs, seemingly bored with our conversation. She turns on her heel and heads towards the stand. I owe Emmy money now, again. Why's that? I didn't think you'd show up. Emmy did. So I owe her 500 yen. Aren't we, like, isn't she up like 10 bucks on owes Emmy money? Because I actually do things that I say I'm going to do? You two bet an awful lot, don't you? Another shrug from my armless companion. I don't think so. We enter the bleachers and Rin nods upwards. Up there. I came out to see if you'd come. For the bet, I presume. Rin leads the way, and soon we've settled down on an almost empty bench. Ah! There's an older woman sitting next to Rin. Someone's mother, I assume. Ah! Right! The mom! She's got rather long hair done up in a braid. On seeing Rin, she gives her an oddly familiar-seeming grin. Well, this is surprising. I thought you went to get a snack, not a boy. Huh? A snack? I wondered why I was down there. Not gonna lie, she's a smaller cup than I remember. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna have to back you up. They seemed bigger back then. Perhaps I was a smaller boy. You may find yourself standing at a track meet. You may find yourself in the middle of a crowd. You may ask yourself, you ask, why did I come down here? You may ask yourself, where does that track lead to? Nowhere, it goes around in a circle. Shut up. The woman laughs, again, in a way that seems familiar. Where have I seen her before? In Her Daughter. Well, I suppose you've always been one to go out for one thing and bring back another. Are you sure? The tree blocks the track. Could it branch? Well, let's ask AI where it goes. Well, Rin may not like that one, but let's ask AI where the track goes. Let's see if it creates any weird artifacts going off into that direction. Maybe that leads to the final boss of Katawa Shoujo. We just never realized that it could be right there. It's right there. The entrance is right over there. Or hell, maybe it's over here. You know, this cuts off too. I mean, there's a tree over there, and we can't really see the curve there, so there might be more over there. But this is the whole half the track. It may just stop here and start being something else. Who knows? Maybe the final boss is the heart attacks along the way. Pretty accurate, honestly. But I'm being rude. I haven't introduced myself. I'm Mako Ibarazaki. That fucking last name. Emi's mother. Yes! Mako! Welcome back, ma'am. We missed you. Pleased to meet you. Well, that explains it. She's like a taller, older, and better endowed Emmy. Well, Emmy still got... She probably has a rack of that size. You know, give her a couple of years. I wouldn't put it past me to consider that. Wouldn't put it past, genetics to consider that. Apart from her hair being a darker shade of Emmy's, there's really no mistaking the resemblance. And milk. A lot of... Thank you, Martin. Sorry, I'm Hisao Nakai. And you really don't have to apologize for not introducing yourself. That's really Rin's job in this situation, isn't it? Another laugh from Emmy's mother. I take it you've not known Rin for that long, then. It's best not to expect her to remember something like that. She's got other things to think about, I assume. Wink. Rin nods, seemingly pleased by this assessment. She's right. I was thinking about sunsets. You see, it's really up to us to make introductions and the like. Rin doesn't have to conform to normal social norms or anything like that because she's autistic. She doesn't have to do any heavy lifting, not just because she doesn't have arms, it's because she doesn't, qualify for any kind of social norms whatsoever. For lack of a better response, I nod. Miss Ibarazaki leans a little on her seat and raises an eyebrow. Oh, leans back a little on her seat. So how long have you and Rin been dating? My response consists of silence as my brain suddenly lurches into gear. But just before I can begin to utter a hastily babbled explanation, Emmy's mother burst into laughter again. Surprise! It's the Rin route. Well, actually, the Rin route's kind of a fucker because you actually have to... You have to get points with every single girl and not fall into the Emmy trap. Then you get Rin. If I remember correctly, and if you fuck up literally everything, you get the manly picnic. I know about that one. I've never done that, but I know about that one. But yes, you're dating, right? We're being bullied, though. Ah, you're a blusher, aren't you? I don't know if there's any way to keep my dignity in the situation, so I settle for a mumbled response. Maybe. So this must be a new romance then, mustn't it? Wait, that's not the question that... Another laugh. I know, but it's funny to watch you squirm. Yep, that's Emmy's mother. I'm sorry, forgive an old woman her amusements. Bullshit, we've all had manly picnics, plenty. No, Martin, I have not had manly picnics. Not once. Because remember, I only have one route. And the reason why I only have one route is because I accidentally made all of the good decisions. I locked myself into the good ending of my own accord, and that was rather nice at that time. This is why I choose to say there's only one route. Because it's quite powerful when, you're not exactly feeling terribly great, and you just go with your gut instincts and everything does actually work out. Fantastic feeling. It's fucking gambling, but fantastic feeling. You locked yourself in a Honda Accord? How did you manage that? Thank you, Martin. Really? No. That might be the internet or the storm, but no. Martin, I on my first try, made all the decisions that lock me into Emmy's good ending, which is why this is special. So no, I have not had a manly picnic, nor have I played any other route, because that was so special I didn't want to ruin it. Old woman? She sure doesn't look that old to me. Clearly Emmy gets her youthful features from her mother. I mean, there's also a good sign that she's gonna age gracefully. I suppose I can let it go. How kind of you. It's starting. Fantastically. Ah, yes, the handless girl that has a route but doesn't. Easter egg. I direct my attention to the track, where they're preparing for the first sprint. It looks like the 400-meter dash. My eyes scan the runners before finding Emmy. She's smiling with an almost cocky look on her face. The starter raises his pistol. Get down, Mr. President. We've got 2 visible cripples and the rest of them. The rest of them that didn't warrant any specific design alterations to, like, hint towards what kind of cripple they are. But generally speaking, if you're on the running team, usually you don't have any physical, you wouldn't have any physical deformities or anything like that, usually, that would actually stop you. You also wouldn't have any crippling health problems either, even though you kind of need to have them. You kind of need to have them to be here, so what's wrong with them? It must it must be brain problems. Oh, I forgot about Rika. Yes, and Rika, kinda back there. Rika with black hair, and yeah, it was bluer in the other one. It was bluer in the first CG, yes, but Rika, air quotes, back there. The reporting on the hurricane is hilarious. Yeah, it doesn't seem that bad, even though it's probably gonna clip us. Then again, it's clipping the entire fucking state, so Emmy explodes off the block, disappearing from the starting line in a blur. It's amazing. Even as the other sprinters converge on the lanes closest to the inside line, Emmy surges to the front of the pack. By the time she rounds the final turn, some of the other runners haven't caught up with her. Some of the other runners have caught up with her. But their efforts come to naught, though, since a final burst of speed from Emmy leaves them at least half a second behind. Secret nitrous button. Where is it hidden? You tell me. And there's her hair again. There's Rika. Not really, but it's blue again for some bizarre reason. Maybe they thought it was a little bit too obvious from that front-on angle. Miss Ibarazaki whoops and shouts, applauding wildly, and generally looking like any other parent cheering on their child. Emmy bounds off the track, looking pleased with herself. I cheer right along with the rest of them. The announcer, sounding suspiciously like Misha, gleefully gives the result. It totally is Misha. I think she's gotten faster since the last time. That was incredible. Wow! Miss Ibarazaki grins proudly. Emmy's a heck of a runner. We fall silent as the next event is being prepared. I'm surprised to see Emmy striding out onto the track again. Wait, didn't she just run? Emmy's mother nods. Yes, but she runs multiple events for the team, especially the sprints. It's a lot of running, but Emmy can handle it. From the looks of things, she's right. Emmy doesn't appear to be tired, as if she hadn't run the previous event at all. If not for the sweat visible on her shirt, you'd never know. Which event is this? It's the 200-meter dash. She'll do this one, the 100-meter, and the relay. Well, at that point, you're just slowly escalating the amount of distance that you're running. So that's a pretty solid game plan there. She's cheating. Of course she's faster. Her legs don't get tired. Yeah. How could you wear yourself out with running if you don't have legs? Impossible! I see. Once again, the pistol sounds, and once again, Emmy flies off the block. The thumping sound draws my attention away from the race. It's Rin's foot. She seems completely absorbed in the race. Emmy's mother cheers again, as I assume that the race is over. Sprints don't seem to me like they take very long to complete. Your foot. Your foot was bouncing on the bleachers. Oh. You seem pretty into this stuff, I'm surprised. Rin looks at me quizzically. Why wouldn't I be? No reason, I just thought stuff like sports wouldn't interest you. I suppose you're right. It's not that interesting. But I'm watching Emmy, not the sport. I don't follow. Emmy's the most Emmy when she runs. Thank you, Rin. You don't get to see Emmy at her Emmyiest very often. Again, amazing words. Kenji is freaking the fuck out in his room, breaking out the .22 pipe rifle he secretly machined from under the bed. Right, gunshots. Kenji, just... The doors are locked, the windows are shut. He's barricaded himself in, probably his closet, since there probably aren't any bathrooms, aside from the public one. He's a man with a plan. Several plans. All of them unnecessary, but, better safe than sorry. Better wasting your time than, letting the feminists win? Yeah, no, that's, I'm trying to figure out how he would finish that sentence. Right. Better wasting your time than giving women a chance to be victorious. How did he make the rifling insert out of? 3D printing won't be a thing for a couple more years. Don't worry about it. The image of the guy holding the printed gun, I am extremely peaceful. But it's Kenji. It's Kenji in a balaclava. But here, can you see? She directs my attention towards the track, again, where the 100-meter dash is about to start. I watch Emmy closely. As she gets onto the starter blocks, her whole body seems to relax, but it's a false relaxation. I can see that she's actually like a coiled spring. I'm thinking of the World in Conflict trailer again, or rather the opening to Soviet Assault. We're like a coiled spring, ready to throw ourselves into the fray. The legs might have something to do with that. Yeah, also, yes, the legs, being flexing metal would probably be helping that one. As the starter tells everyone to get set, her head snaps up. Her eyes narrow slightly. Her mouth curls upward in what could be a grin and could be a growl. When the pistol goes off, it's as if she's been unleashed from a cage, like she was always moving at this blinding speed, but we couldn't see it happening until the starter pistol dispelled the illusion of motionlessness. It's all over in a few seconds, but in those few seconds, I feel like I just witnessed something very personal for Emmy. As soon as she crossed the finish line, the fierce look was replaced by her normal grin. The conquering general returning to his farm. Amazing. She's really amazing. I've never seen anyone move that fast. Well, don't look at me. I'm far too relaxed to run that fast. No, I think Emi's prowess all came from her father's side. At the mention of Emi's father, Miss Ibarazaki looks wistful, almost sad. Almost sad? He got her into running, you know. Yeah, she told me. I'm uncertain as to whether or not it would be rude of me to ask after Emi's father. But after that look on her face a few days ago, I feel compelled to ask. Where is her father now, if I might ask? Emi's mother hesitates, clearly not willing to answer the question, but at the same time, not wishing to appear rude. He isn't around anymore. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring up bad memories. I ran the risk, man. Emi just seemed a little sad when she mentioned him earlier. That's not surprising, considering. They were very close. I see. Missed opportunity, choice opportunity. Oh, so he was fooling around. He had an affair? Yeah, Throw the awkward, throw the awkward conversation twist back at the woman. Instant bad end. He went looking for smokes in a minefield and never came back. Never came back. Never came back. A beeping noise suddenly emanates from Miss Arabarazaki's pocket. Reaching into it, she pulls out a cell phone and looks at it. Honestly, text messages? What is he, 16? Oh, nothing. I've got to go meet up with a friend of mine. Will you tell Emi I'm very proud of her and that I'll call her later tonight? Of course. I'll admit that I zone out for a while. I almost don't notice that the relay's about to begin, but when I look, I can't find Emi. I thought that Emi would be running the relay. She runs anchor. So she won't be running for a while yet. Ah. Yeah, so the nurse and her are fucking unabashedly and keeping it a secret. More than likely. I have no proof other than it was revealed to me in a dream. It was revealed to me in a dream. It's less certain than Kenji and the librarian fucking, but all knowledge comes to us in a dream. It is your mind. It's your mind taking in all of the knowledge around you and condensing it into a sensible form. In addition to listening to God himself. All truth is then revealed. No, see, Kenji and the librarian happened. Yes. It is undeniable that it did, in fact, happen. However, it's mostly kept in the background. Also, welcome back to Afternoon, the loudest track in the game. Yep, there it is again, competing with me in volume for no apparent reason. Did you see it? Huh? Emi at her Emiest. Maybe. Maybe this time. Well, maybe this time. Race begins, and I cheer Emi's teammates along as they pass the baton. Finally, I see Emi sprinting onto the track to take the final handoff. Once again, I'm taken aback by how graceful she looks when she runs. It really is beautiful. The look of determination and fearlessness on her face only adds to the picture. Emi at her Emiest, I suppose. But then, as she crosses the finish line, I see her stumble slightly. It's only barely, but it's definitely a stumble. Rin inhales sharply and actually looks concerned for a second. Aw, Emi. Did she hurt herself? Do you think? You noticed it too. It must be bad. She frowns as if deciding on the next course of action. Eventually, that proves to be too tiresome, and she shrugs again. Well, let's go down. Gotta crown the victor. See if you can find a laurel branch. That's not going to be easy. Rin shrugs. At least we tried. Climb this thing. Impossible. Well, we made an attempt. Well, we really didn't try all that hard. Or at all, but hey, whatever. Emmy is surrounded by her teammates, all of them congratulating her on the run. Rin seems to be waiting for Emmy to notice that she's arrived. Oh yeah, I guess she can't exactly wave Emmy over. She could attempt, but it would probably be extremely taxing. Then again, I'm not sure Rin would do such a thing even if she had arms. It doesn't seem her style to draw attention to herself, or to emote beyond shrugging. Either way, I'm not willing to wait, so I wave to Emmy, who looks up and grins happily at me, or us. Ah. I wonder if there's a KS drinking game. Probably multiple ones. Hey, you showed up. Guess Rin owes me money, huh? We would have brought you a crown of laurels, but Hiso didn't find one. Hey, neither did you. It wasn't my job to look. When did we assign jobs? When I said, see if you could find a laurel branch. Try to keep up. I shrug. Guess Rin's rubbing off on me. Seems it's my fault after all, Emmy. Emmy laughs at Rin and me. It's okay, I'm sure you'll make it up to me somehow. Sure. Good. So how'd I look? I stopped myself from blurting out beautiful or amazing and settled for the substantially safer very impressive. Emmy seems pleased with this assessment. I don't mention how much more impressive her performance is given her lack of legs. I figure she knows that already. Besides, it seems like it would take away from her effort somehow. Great to hear. I was worried that I looked a little slow on the relay, but I guess I did fine, huh? Actually, I noticed that... Ow. Rin kicks me and keeps me from finishing my sentence. What was that all about? He noticed it at the end. That's no good. Guess the nurse will look at it for me later. There's a carelessness in her voice, as if it isn't a big deal, but I suddenly notice a slight twitch on her face. Like she's trying to hide the fact that she's in pain. Here we go. It's then that I notice her breathing is a little shallow, too. I guess she really is hurt. She must notice my concern, because she skips up to me and gives me a friendly pat on the shoulder. Hey, you look a little worried. I'm fine, really. No, you're not. Just sore from all the running is all. It's a fucking lie. And come on, a little pain isn't going to stop me. You're admitting by degrees that I'm entirely right, Emmy. Oh no? Emmy grins, and for a moment she looks like she did during her sprint, fierce and unconquerable. Or to put it another way, really beautiful. Hasn't yet? Well then, I guess I shouldn't worry. Huh? Damn right, I'm Emmy Ibarazaki, fastest thing on no legs. I don't stop for anything. Not even common sense, but that's why we're here. Impressive. Emmy giggles and then seems to remember something. Oh, before I forget, Rin and I are going to do something next Sunday as a post-track meet celebration. You should come along. Normally we do it the day after, but since the track meet was on a Sunday, I've got homework and class and all that stuff to take care of. Plus our morning run, of course. Right, of course. Oh, right. Your mom wanted to say she's proud of you. She'll call you later tonight. I thought I saw her in the stands. I'm glad she made it. Used to be my dad who showed up to my meets, but Mom's done a pretty good job of taking over. She shivers slightly, and I realize she's still all sweaty. A breeze has started to blow, too. I'm not cold at all, and I've got my jacket with me, so without a word, I throw it around her shoulders. Emmy jumps slightly and then grins at me. Hey, thanks. It's getting a little cold, I guess. Yeah, looked like it. Just as I begin to wonder whether or not giving Emmy my jacket could be taken the wrong way, a boy in a track uniform approaches. Teammate, hey, Emmy, you're gonna miss the medal ceremony. Oh yeah, thanks. She turns to Rin and myself. You don't have to stick around for this part. It takes forever. Besides, you should get cracking on your homework now if you don't want to be up late. Peace out. So is Phonto gonna be Emmy's wrangler? Of course I'm going to be Emmy's wrangler, because that's what she fucking needs. She's great at everything, except noticing how fucking stupid she is. Morning run tomorrow, don't forget. How could I? Good point. I mean, it's spending time with me, after all. Ah!
Watching your Battletech Let's Plays, and I got to the part where you challenged the definition of insanity to get your Atlas. That was madness. You were a madman.
Yes, it was, but I made the moment worth it with the editing in the end, and looking back at how things have gone over the years, totally worth it. But thank you, Eggroll, for the $60, sir. Looking back at the situation and how things have gone, I'd do it again every single fucking time. With this, she waves quickly and dashes off to receive her medals, or whatever they pass off as medals these days. Rin and I head away from the trek, Rin remaining deep in whatever thoughts she has for most of the walk back down to her dorm. As I see her off, she speaks up. You're probably not getting that coat back, I think. I'm sure I'll get it back eventually. Interesting. Take it as it comes, huh? Very Emmy-ish. With this odd statement, she turns and heads into the building. Honestly, was it that big of a deal? Was it that big a deal? Emmy was cold and, unless I'm mistaken, in pain. Giving her a solution to at least one of those problems seems like an obvious reaction. Though I guess there is a chance I could lose my jacket if Emmy never remembers to return it. I guess Rin has a point. Still, I can't bring myself to muster much worry over the whole thing. After all, it's been getting warmer lately. I don't need a jacket. Odd. I think I used to be a little more responsible with my stuff. Emmy-ish, huh? Maybe that's not really a bad thing. Oh, and don't worry. I'm sure we'll be able to get that back and maybe actually be able to steal some of Emmy's clothes. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. You haven't been forgetting to take your medicine, have you? I'm catching a little murmur. You should take it easy for a few days. The nurse's words hurt me far more than the exhaustion of the morning run ever could. Take it easy for a few days? I knew I should have kept quiet. I keep my eyes on the floor, feeling like a complete idiot. Stealing Emmy's clothes. Is there something you want to tell us, Phonto? No! Absolutely nothing about removing a girl's clothes. You know, in an isolated space. With just the two of us. Alone. Maybe containing lemon lube. Absolutely nothing to say. How could you possibly think there would be any detail on that topic? Of course I hadn't been remembering to take my medicine. I've been rushing out of my room to get to the track before Emmy. Well, that's fucking stupid because you need that to not die. After the track meet a few days ago, I felt inspired. So I've been running warm-up laps in the morning before Emmy shows up. But then today, while she and I were running, I felt a little pain in my chest. It was only slight, and it was only for a second, so I mentioned it to the nurse. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. I mean, I kept running and finished fine, so it really couldn't have been that bad. Why do I feel like I'm making excuses to the nurse? Because you are making excuses to the nurse, you fucking idiot. Moreover, why do I feel the need to justify continuing to run despite the pain? Really, it comes down to me being unwilling to concern Emmy, who seems concerned anyway. I'm not sure how she was able to tell there was anything wrong, but she claims I stumbled a little. She's the one who insisted I tell the nurse, so now I feel bad for worrying her at all. Phontomen's hentai comment confirmed. The nurse shakes his head ruefully while Emmy paces outside the room. Isa, I know it's difficult for you to get into a new routine, but if you don't want to find yourself in a lot of trouble, you're going to have to try harder. You can't afford to forget your pills, and you can't push yourself too hard. But if I don't push myself, how will I improve? I don't know where that came from. The nurse seems to have an idea. Now, where have I heard that before? He laughs and pats me on the shoulder. Ah, she's rubbing off on you, I guess. His expression changes again, and he's back in serious mode. Look, I'm not saying you shouldn't push yourself, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be taking your medication, and it doesn't mean you shouldn't stop if your chest starts to bother you. I'd prefer not to have any fatalities while I'm on staff here. A bit of a lofty goal, to be sure, but I'm always up for a challenge. I hate to admit it, but I think he's right. It's because he is right. I've got to remember to take my medication. You're right, I'm sorry to worry you. Who's worried? You're a smart kid, right? I know you can be responsible, Isao. A situation like yours, you've got to learn to be responsible fast. I know. His expression suddenly becomes devious. I suppose you've started to enjoy your runs with Emmy then, huh? Yeah, they've really been helping me. I mean, until today I was feeling a lot more healthy. Plus, it's really impressive to see Emmy run. Did you see her at the track meet? She was incredible. The nurse nods, grinning all the while. That she was, Isao. I watched her first couple of races before I had some business to take care of, but she told me all about it. Kind of you to loan her your jacket, by the way. Huh? Oh yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal. I had honestly forgotten all about that. I still haven't gotten it back. The nurse gets a smile that makes me feel like he's just made a joke. Not to you, but Emmy certainly appreciated it. And I know she appreciates your running with her in the mornings. This one catches me off guard a little. Sure, she mentioned that it's easier to keep to a schedule with an extra person, but I didn't think that I was doing her a favor at all. I thought she was doing me the favor for helping me follow the doctor's orders. She tries harder when you're around. If there's someone else running with her, she's going to push herself more. And she tries even harder when you're around because, well, it's you. What do you mean it's me, though, Mr. Nurse? What do you mean I'm special to a girl? What does that mean? Oh ho, you'd love to know, wouldn't you? Yes, but that would be too easy. We've got to wait a little bit more. You can't spoil the progression of the plot here. He laughs in the style of evil megalomaniacs. No, seriously, it's because you're her friend. Yes, the obvious duck there. If Rin ran with her, I'm sure she'd do the same. Well, probably. But that's not the point. The point is, you're helping her, even if you don't know you are. And she's grateful for that, even if she never says it. What do you mean, even if she never says it? Emmy doesn't talk a lot, but she and I have known each other long enough that I can read her most of the time. I'll admit it, I have no idea what he's talking about. Emmy always seems pretty talkative to me. That's a recent development, Hisao, but we wouldn't know that. We're a stupid child. I see. The nurse suddenly realizes that he's been rambling and stops talking, looking a little embarrassed. Anyway, you don't have to stop your morning exercise. Just walk the track instead of running for a few days. Let things calm down. And take your damn medicine! I laugh as I exit the office, bumping straight into enemy. Into an enemy, yes, but Emmy, yeah, we're about to get confrontational, though, because now we're starting the go to the nurse Emmy arc. Whoops, sorry about that. Are you okay? What did the nurse say? Do you need to go to the hospital? Oh my gosh, it was my fault, wasn't it? I've been pushing you too hard, haven't I? I'm a horrible person! Emmy, calm down. The words pour forth like a torrent. Sorry. She's really agitated. I didn't expect her to be this concerned about me, to be honest. Gotta calm her down, but how the hell do I do that? I do the only thing I can think of. I give her a hug. Emmy tenses up slightly, so I pat her head in what I hope is a reassuring manner. Hey, settle down. I'm fine, okay? No worries. I can feel Emmy's body relax as I continue to assure her it's fine. Her arms wrap around me as if she's trying to confirm that I'm not about to fall over dead. A Connery slap? Oh, no, a hug works too. No, a Connery slap, bright slap, those would have been reasonable responses. However, we didn't get a choice, so hug works. I catch a whiff of her hair. It smells like sweat, or how adrenaline should smell. It's the scent of activity. Yes, sniff her hair, Hisao. We need to know this information. This is very important information. Every single fucking time we have a VN where we get this close in this position, the writer has to comment about how her hair smells. Every single fucking VN does this. Why? I don't fucking know, but everyone does it anyway. And a hint of strawberries from her shampoo, I suspect. Yes, give us this to-ta-ta-ta-ha-wa.
Here are some funds for the anti-storm flak cannons.
Anti-storm flak cannon. Yes, thank you. Stranger, thank you for the $500, sir. But yes, I will put this funding towards the anti-storm flak cannons as we put on the full armor set for the house. We didn't do that this year, but we do have an entire set of shutters for the entire house. The house does have a full armor setting. I'll put these funds towards the flat cannons and I'll continue to consult with Martin about optimal placement for Vicar guns and coverage and, converging fields of fire. But thank you, sir. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, the show is kept afloat by donations like that from viewers like you. Not everyone has to give me that much money, though, but I'm very thankful every time somebody does. But, so, back to the show here. Yes, how a girl's hair smells. Again, people have made jokes. I've known several people making crack jokes about this entire situation, but isn't this a little bit too much information? Do you want to go, stranger? If you charge that back like an asshole, I will find your house. He never does. Thankfully, no one's done that to me yet. And don't forget to keep your tame alligators fed. Yes, the tame alligators we keep in the moat. Keeps the liberals out. I just need to remember to take my medicine, that's all. Don't worry about it, it's not your fault. You sure? Her voice is muffled, mostly because at the moment her face is pressed into my chest. Yes, I'm sure. I just need to take it a little easy for the next few days. It suddenly occurs to me how close the two of us are. It also occurs to me how nice being this close feels. I can feel Emmy's heartbeat calming down, and I have to resist the urge to rest my chin on the top of her head. Thank goodness. You really had me worried there, Hisao. Emmy, you gonna come in here anytime soon? Oh, I'm sorry. Was I interrupting? Yes, you fucker! The two of us spring apart as if the other just caught fire. Emmy brushes her hair back nervously and laughs. Of course not. Of course not. See you later, okay? Oh, and Hisao? Take your damn medicine. Oh, we'll be returning this back in space. Yes! Yes, that's entirely right. However, woman, you have no idea what we're about to do. I'm not talking about the anal scene because that's not in the Steam version innately, so we won't be seeing that, but we'll be seeing the aftermath of it, though. This last phrase is punctuated by a punch to the shoulder. Yeah, I'll remember. See you later. The nurse smiles again like he's in on some joke I don't know about and waves to me as I head for my room, feeling a burning in my cheeks. I need a shower. A cold one, if the thoughts running through my head now are any indication. She was really soft. My pills are waiting for me when I make it to my room. I swallow them without a second thought. I don't know why I didn't think of waiting until after the runs to take them. For some reason, I figured it was when I woke up or not at all. But no, they only need to be taken every 24 hours. The exact time of day doesn't factor into it. My thoughts drift back to the hug in the hallway. It's weird. You'd expect someone to smell foul after a run, but for some reason, Emmy smelled right. Just that tinge of sweat just seemed to fit her. Well, this is what he said. This is what we call pheromones that do really funny things to your head. But you're a young boy. We don't really notice this one yet. I really need that shower. Well, folks, we're officially crossing in. We're not at home plate anymore. We're somewhere between first base and home plate there. Yeah, we're in that transient period of we're definitely going somewhere with this. Jesus Christ, Gundam. Strange that it feels so natural for me to go up to the roof these days. I never would have done such a thing at my old school. In those days, I liked to eat alone. No, that's not quite true. Though I liked to sit alone. I also liked to watch people. I always figured that was the sort of person I was, but it appears I was wrong. Well, that romance that you were about to walk into didn't happen, so, well, who's to fucking say, really? Then again, I also thought I was the sort of person who had a normal heart, so there you have it. Whoops. I don't know myself that well. Now I'm on the roof so that I can have lunch with a couple of people. And they are both girls, which is even stranger. Oddly enough, I feel closer to Emmy and Rin than I felt to anyone at my old school. Somehow I get the feeling they'd at least visit me if I wound up in the hospital. Yes, without being forced and making it a school pity project either. Wow, amazing. I have friends! I focus on the view from the roof, banishing such thoughts from my head. There's a light breeze blowing, and the sun is shining high in the sky. The sky itself is a deep blue, with hardly a cloud in it. It's gotten pleasantly warm, and as I sit down to wait for my friends, I close my eyes and enjoy the feeling of the sun seeping into my skin. Moments later, voices intrude upon the edge of my hearing. Seems to have fallen asleep on us, Rin. Maybe he's faking, to lull us into a false sense of security. Rin, why would I be doing that unless I'm starting a Dojin plot here? Which, well, that's not Hisao, that would be me. I'd crack that joke, and, well, unfortunately, I'd alienate every woman around me, but that's just normal. Why would he do that? Yes, why, Emmy? Why would I do that? No idea. Good. They're ignorant. Still, you make a good point. We should kick him or something to make sure he's really asleep. Huh? What? Emmy looms over me like only a short girl can, peering at me intently. Oh, you're awake. I guess we didn't have to kick you then. Was it part of your master plan? What are you talking about? Emmy shrugs, her twin tails bouncing with emotion. I'm not sure either. You must be pretty tired to fall asleep out here. Although it's pretty comfortable, I suppose. She plops down next to me and begins to eat. Rin sits opposite from the two of us, a move which only makes me more aware of the girl sitting next to me. If I didn't know any better, I'd swear Rin did it on purpose. I concentrate on my food, trying to tune out the majority of the conversation that Rin and Emmy are having. Despite my best efforts, however, I still find myself glancing over at Emmy whenever she speaks. I notice how she purses her lips when she's talking about something, squinting slightly as if it would improve her thinking ability. You squint. Overclock brain. Rin says something that makes Emmy laugh, and I notice, perhaps for the first time, how she laughs with her whole body, rocking back and forth, head thrown back, almost like she's about to fall over. I probably look like a creep. I'm studying her. Yes, important. Thank you, writer. All of this prose is very, very important for, detailing what's going around me. Giving me a vision, a true window into the situation of staring at a girl probably way too hard. It's about this time I realize Emmy's looking at me. Her voice raised slightly, so she's probably just asked me a question. Huh? Sorry, I kinda zoned out there for a moment. Emmy rolls her eyes, while a slight quirk of the eyebrow is the only sign that Rin's even paying attention. I said, did you get a career survey in your class too? Oh, I know what this conversation is. One of those, what do you want to do after high school things? Well, one, I never really answered these things because while I was actually going through school, I had no idea what the fuck I wanted to do, but here I am now. That sorted itself out. I don't think so. Maybe we'll get one tomorrow. What are you going to put down? That's a really good question. I guess I always figured I'd go to college after high school, but I've no idea what I'd do once I got there, which is a very easy way to spend all of your money and leave yourself in debt without a career. And with the heart attack and all, I'd really been concentrating on each day as it came rather than making long-term plans. I suppose I could safely start planning ahead again. I always liked having at least a vague plan for my future, so it'd be nice to come up with one again. Of course, that doesn't change the fact that right now I've got absolutely no clue. I always kind of assumed I'd figure it out in college. That or just become a salaryman. That's pretty popular. Do I really want to? That's a tough question. I guess I don't really want to do anything. You don't sound very excited about that one, do you? No one's terribly excited about that. She laughs as she says this, and I'm caught up in her laugh again. It's so girlish. high and giggly, like, well, pardon the cliche, like a babbling brook. When the writer writes a line that's so fucking cliche, even he can't take it seriously, so he has to gaslight himself. It bubbles out of her, starting in her belly and working its way up her throat. I can't help but laugh myself, it's infectious. Yeah, I guess I'm pretty unhappy with the salaryman idea. But to be honest, I haven't given much thought to the future recently. I suppose that these days I've been more concerned with living one day at a time. Emmy considers this for a moment and grins. That's a pretty good idea, Hisao. I just wrote down pirate. There it is. Yep, the pirate conversation. Yep, we're here. Yep, I knew. As soon as she mentioned the career thing, I realized, wait, no, Emmy wants to be a pirate. That's, Well, take that, Hosho Marine. Emmy's got several years on you being a fucking pirate. I'm momentarily stunned, then I start laughing. So she hates Adobe? Clearly. I stop myself and manage to gasp out a question. You're actually serious, are you? Emmy looks mock offended. Well, I've got the legs for it already, so I just kind of figured. Rin seems amused by this. Just you wait, I'll be the terror of the high seas. Yes, Emmy the no-leg pirate. I'll show you all! I've even been working on my pirate voice. She suddenly springs up and begins swaggering up and down the rooftop, shouting orders. Yar me hearties, give them a broadside with the long guns. We'll wear their guts for garters. Do you even know what that means? Rin's unexpected interruption stops Emmy in her tracks. Not really. But it's all in the delivery. Yes, this is actually true. The ringing of the bell prevents her from demonstrating her point further. Emmy dashes off immediately, leaving Rin and myself alone on the roof. Rin stares at me intently for a few moments. Is there something wrong? Rin considers this question closely for a moment. After a lengthy pause, she shakes her head. Nope. Oh, why are you staring then? Well, why the staring then? Rin shakes her head again. Nope. I don't get it. Get what? The staring thing. You two seem to, but I don't. Great, she saw me staring. Now she probably thinks I'm a pervert or something. Actually, probably not. This is Rin we're talking about after all. Still, I feel the need to defend myself. I wasn't staring, I was just tired. Rin actually snorts at this, but she doesn't say anything. No, really, I was just distracted, is all. Eager to end this conversation, I head back down to class. Ducking the whole thing about the staring thing, that both of us were staring at each other. But it's moments like that where it's just, that's where writing gets really difficult. Because you can just simply write something out. However, it takes actual work and talent to make useless moments like that actually somewhat compelling and nice. You have to intentionally design a pointless, normal conversation and make it seem like it was actually an enjoyable part of the experience and not just you wasting time and padding out pages for for a book. That takes real skill. And at the end of the day, this is kind of one of the major things about Katawa Shoujo, or rather, well, VNs in general, honestly, but Katawa Shoujo in particular, because you feel like you're here, and that's the mark of a good story. I'm greeted by the twin specters of Shizune and Misha, looking like they mean business. What now? Well, Shizune looks like she means business anyway. Misha just looks like she's about to start laughing at any minute. Up on the roof again, He-chan? You know that's dangerous, don't you? There are suicide barriers. We're fine. That's right. The school cannot be held responsible for any injury that comes from being up there, you know. Furthermore, we can report you for breaking the rules. Misha leads in to whisper conspiratorially. But we won't, He-chan. You three are too cute together. She straightens up again, laughing at my sudden blush. It is once again time to waha about something. Wahaha, there it is. You're too easy to tease, He-chan. Hey, come on. I'm still new here, sort of. I haven't been surrounded by this many girls in my life. Isn't it mean to pick on the newcomer like this? Nope. Yeah, of course she would say that. It's to help you get acclimated to your new surroundings. Ah, I see. Well, do you have to be so overzealous about it? Yep. Ah, that aside, He-chan, we were looking for you this morning, but you weren't in your room. Of course I wasn't. I was out for my morning exercise, or here in class, bright and early. Unlike you. Shizune looks peeved, and a beat later, so does Misha. She tries to at any rate. That was because of student council business. You should be grateful that we worked so hard for you. Struck a nerve. Okay, oh, I am. So what do you need me for? Not another attempt to rope me in to do their dirty work, I hope. We had to give you something, but since you weren't around, we dropped it off in your room. Something like what? Oh, you'll find out when you get back, He-chan. Wahaha. Hee ho ho ho. Muto entering the room ends our conversation, and we all head to our seats. It's only after I've settled down at my desk and the teacher started talking about something or other that something odd strikes me. What did Rin mean, you two seem to? Was Emmy staring at something too? Spirit of the staircase on that one, except it's not comebacks, it's... Wait a minute. Wait. What did she mean? What did she mean by this? Huh. For a brief moment, I considered the possibility that Emmy was staring at me the way I was staring at her. Of course, that's ridiculous. Inconceivable. Impossible. Only awkward men have these moments. Still, I can't deny that I wouldn't mind if it were true. But it's best not to think of that. No need to get my hopes up. Come to think of it, when did I start having hopes like that anyway? I shake my head in an attempt to clear it and focus on the lesson. The lesson is too unimportant to have the audience focus on or hear. Which is good because we're finally out of that exposition phase. Because, my god, the first, getting into this game is... It's a lot of the same shit over and over again, if I'm gonna have to point a flaw, but that's the exposition phase, that's the beginning. You kind of have to know how things work, and so later on, we can just skip everything, because you know what happens, nothing important, moving on. But man, am I glad to be out of that. After class, I make my way to my room. Muto really piled on the homework today. Oh no. Before I can open my door, however, I am suddenly intercepted by Kenji, who has just exploded out of his own room in a flurry of papers. Hey, we need to talk. Those rooftop shenanigans of yours, man. They've got to stop. I've had the recon team reporting what's going on up there, man. It's not good, man. We can't have you doing this, man. What? You're running around on the rooftop with the limbless wonders. They're women, man. You'll get yourself killed running around like that. I don't follow. Kenji sighs and adjusts his glasses before what could be understood as an attempt at explaining himself patiently. Look, we're friends, so I'm telling you this for your own good. But if I were going to kill someone, I'd do it by throwing them off the roof and making it look like an accident. He's not lying. The best part of this comment is he's not lying. And that's what happens if you happen to fuck up getting any points with any of the girls. And this is what the manly picnic end is if you don't really know if you don't know Katawa Shoujo memes. You get drunk on the roof with Kenji and he throws you off the fucking roof. That's the bad end. That's what happens if you fuck up monstrously with Act 1. Which, granted, at that point I suppose you deserve it if you manage to dodge the Emmy trap. Emmy is the idiot trap. I say this liking Emmy's route, but that's what she functions as. I have fucked up literally everything. I am going to get caught by something, and if you somehow manage to get not caught by that, you're as good as dead, son. And if I've thought of it, you can be sure they thought of it too. They're putting chemicals in the bento that turn the friggin' men into simps. It's the student council. They're crafty, almost as crafty as I am. I see. Good. I'm glad we had this chat. Loan me Give me $5. I'm sorry. I need to get a drink, man. I've been inside all day and the tap water's been compromised. As I'm sure you know. Look, Gundrim, you tried to be more original and you missed the literally poisoning the tap water. I'm sorry, Gundrim, but you missed the joke by attempting to be too original with putting the things in the water to make the frogs go. So I need to stock up on something canned, got it? But to do that, I need $5. And since I just saved your life with my timely advice, you can at least spare me $5. You know, it'll make him go away. $5 is a bargain. I'm gonna pay you $5 to shut the fuck up and go away. I hand the money over to Kenji, who nods in thanks and dashes off down the hallway, but not before he locks his door. What an exhausting person. I better go, in the case he changes his mind, or asks for more money. As I close my door, my heel taps against something lying on the floor. It's a brightly colored rectangle of paper. Ah, this must be the something Misha mentioned before. Probably a student council leaflet she slipped under the door. However, when I pick it up, I find that I couldn't have been more wrong. Someone actually wrote me an old-fashioned handwritten paper letter. Who bothers doing something like that in this day and age anyway? Yet it's as unlikely as the prospect of receiving one sounds. It's as unlikely as the prospect of receiving one sounds. Sorry, dyslexia and the sentences just kind of going wibbly wobbly in my head as I'm trying to say them. This is definitely a letter I have in my hands. I was planning on finishing my homework, getting some dinner, and going to bed in order to be ready for tomorrow morning's run. However, the letter has naturally caught my interest. I sit at my desk to examine it properly. It's the first piece of mail I've received here at Yamako. So it'd feel special even if it wasn't something as rare as a handwritten letter. What causes me even more trepidation is the name of the sender written neatly on the back of the envelope. Alanako. Oh yeah! Right! That girl that abruptly just dumped us. I have no idea why she would write to me. I haven't been in contact with anyone from my old school since I transferred, and Iwanako is the last person I expect to want to write me a letter. Oh yeah, wasn't she my GF or something? Or was going to be, because, unfortunately that, coincided with my horrible, heart attack. But then, unfortunately, she seemingly got bored and left me for dead because, who wants a crippled boyfriend? The last time I saw Iwanako was terribly awkward, embarrassingly so. She came to my hospital room, peeled me an apple out of courtesy, and then we practically sat in silence for half an hour. She said goodbye and didn't look me in the eye when she closed the door. it might have been a natural end to the series of visits that were probably pretty painful for the both of us, or for both of us. Every time she visited me in the hospital, I wanted to talk to her, but something stopped me every time. Every time that I didn't speak made the next time even harder. She looked so guilty that I didn't want to say anything. She looked so guilty that I didn't want to say anything that might upset her, and I never could figure out the right words to say. I think Awanako blamed herself for my heart attack. That's ridiculous, of course, but knowing it and believing it are two different things. I told her that it wasn't her fault. She nodded, and I really think she understood that if it hadn't been that, then sooner or later something else would have made my heart give out. Yet she looked so hopelessly sad every time she opened that door and entered my room. So I never managed to say the things I wanted to say. In the end, that might have hurt her even more. Carefully, I open the envelope and draw out the folded letter from within. Dear Hisao, how are you? I hope you are well and happy at your new school. Everyone here misses you. Almost all of our second year class got put together in 3-1 for the final year. So we are pretty comfortable right from the beginning of the year. I'm sure you would have been assigned to this class as well. The mood among the third year seems to be very anxious about the final exams, even though they are so far away. The teachers are badgering us about it all the time. Even old Mr. Tachibana, who is, by the way, our homeroom teacher this year. Would you believe it? I was sure that he'd retire after our second year, but here he is, nagging everyone about studying for exams. I think things like that are the main reason why the mood among the third years is so nervous. I must admit that I'm somehow losing confidence in myself as well, even though I've always fared reasonably well in exams. It's so weird to think we are already seniors, isn't it? Time has really flown past. I wonder where it went. The new first year seems so young and somehow really innocent. I keep wondering if I was like them in my first year. I've been feeling nostalgic like this for the whole first trimester. There are other things I want to say. I'm writing to you because I felt that there are things I should have said after the incident back in the winter. I really regret that I wasn't able to say them in person, and I have no excuse for it. Yeah, I think I've had quite enough of this. I crumple up the sheet of paper and toss it across my room. My aim was off, so the letter rolls under my nightstand instead of going into my wastebasket. That was an apology for abandoning me, except I don't know that I really needed it anymore at this point. Yeah, it is kind of insulting generally. Wouldn't reading that letter from your ex will cause your heart rate to jump? I mean, maybe, but that was just cripplingly disappointed because, well, we're sitting here, well after the fact, and, well, you know, if people actually really cared, they would have probably done more, while we were still around and probably wouldn't have disappeared on us to begin with. However, the idea that they wanted to write me a letter is somewhat comforting, even though it means absolutely nothing at this point, and it's just kind of people talking words. It's mostly to make her, quite frankly, it's mostly to make her feel better and not me. The hospital seems like a lifetime ago, and now I've got other things on my mind. Emmy for starters. Yep, we're on the up and up. We're on the rebound here. That shit. Well, you see, it's nice that you wrote me a letter to attempt to apologize to me, but you know what actually really made me feel better? You not abandoning me in the first place. That would have been something, but you know what? That's It's a little bit too high up there on the expectations. I mean, you know, it's not like you were in love with me or anything, right? Just casual things in romance. It wasn't great to be abandoned during my stay, but it's not something I'm worried about anymore. In fact, I hadn't even thought of the hospital in what feels like forever until this letter came in. It's almost annoying to have received it. I've got exams to study for myself. I have no time for the past. Now, about that homework. Moving on swiftly. So what's the plan for today, anyway? I'm waiting patiently in the hallway of the girls' dormitory just outside of Emmy and Rin's rooms. Emmy is apparently helping Rin with getting dressed. I suppose that makes perfect sense, as I have no idea how Rin would get dressed otherwise. Picnic. Picnic. That's what I said! Picnic. The plan is picnic. Sounds pretty exciting. I know, right? Rin chooses this moment to make an observation. The sky seems threatening today. Actually, I noticed that too, on my way over. Despite the sunshine of the early morning, the afternoon seems to have taken a turn for the gloomy. Oh, well, it's probably not that bad, says me, currently in the midst of a hurricane, which I don't hear the rain anymore, so should be fine. There's a heaviness to the air as well that usually heralds a rainstorm. Oh no, humidity. I wonder if I should have brought my umbrella. She's got a point. Emmy, you sure that you still want to risk getting caught in the rain? I don't even know why I bothered asking. Emmy pops out of Rin's room into the hallway looking shocked that I'd even suggest canceling our plans. Of course! What? The threat of rain's supposed to stop me? I can't help but grin at her belligerent response. It's almost like she's daring the rain to come. If Mother Nature were walking down the street, I think Emmy would probably start a fight with her. Or at least challenge her to a race. In fact, Emmy seems almost aggressively cheerful today. Rin wanders out into the hallway looking her usual self. Well then, are we ready to go? I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Rin nods and says a single word. Basket. Beg pardon? The basket in Emmy's room. You should carry it. Emmy claps a hand to her mouth, embarrassed. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot about it. Nice save, Rin. Emmy darts into her room and emerges with what looks like a fairly well-stocked picnic basket. Yes, I'm going to say picnic basket. That's not a speech impediment. As she hands it over to me, I note that it feels heavy enough to be two. Good lord, how much food did she pack? Or heavy enough to be one, too. More to the point, where did she get the money for all this? So, are we set to head out? Yep. Rin gives another nod and we head out of the dormitory. I can't help but frown when I notice how gray the sky's gotten in the 10 minutes I was inside. Still, Emmy does not seem concerned by such petty concerns as the color of the sky. She's positively skipping as we walk. Well, you know, Emmy, rain's not really that big of a deal. It's just water from the sky. However, being struck by lightning during a rainstorm will actually kill you. So that's kind of why we have to be worried about that one. But yes, rain itself is fine. I'm not really surprised, and for a while I thought like this as well. Lightning is good for the heart, you know? Right, yeah. I thought like this for a while until I moved into hurricane land. Very sad about that one. Which reminds me, where are we going? This brings Emmy up short, and she shoots me an embarrassed look. You know, I hadn't really thought of that. We're gonna go on a picnic. Where? Let's skip that for now. What do you think, Isao? Well, there's the spot we ate during the festival, but it might be nice to leave the campus for a while. However, I'm not sure if there's any good places to do that in town. Just as I'm about to open my mouth, Rin unexpectedly interjects with a suggestion. There's a park in town near the art shop. Great idea, Rin. I totally forgot about that place. Crisis averted. Do you know how to get there, Rin? Rin shrugs. It's pretty likely. Good enough for me. I would prefer knowing for sure, but what the hell. Lead on, Rin. The three of us quickly make our way off campus and take the road down into town. This basket's a bit heavy. I hope that the park is close by. Picture of just nearly barren, empty Japanese highway. We pass the art supply store, Rin slowing her pace slightly as we go by. Emmy notices Rin's change of pace and stops. You want to go in, Rin? Rin shrugs. Nothing I need. Are you sure? The slightest flutter of a smile on Rin's face, quickly replaced by her usual expression. Life's uncertain, but on this at least I am pretty sure. Nice of you to offer. Well, it's not like I'm the one carrying the basket. But I'll bet Hisa wouldn't have minded anyway, right? Maybe minded a little. Oh, of course not. This is hardly a heavy load. I flex for emphasis. Emmy stifles a sort of laughter by pointing to the park at which we've suddenly arrived. Yes, we've accidentally fallen into the park CG. There we go. Oh, I remember this place. I ran into you here that one time, didn't I, Rin? Rin's eyebrow raises slightly. Maybe? I'm unwilling to say for certain one way or the other. Memory's a tricky thing, you know. Well, I'll be. We made it in one piece after all. The sun's still nowhere to be seen, but neither Emmy nor Rin seem to mind. We find a spot to sit on the grass, and I set the basket down gracefully. There's a surprising amount of food prepared. Maybe we were supposed to be joined by some of Emmy's teammates or something. I'm starving, dig in. Nope, the food is all for us. She attacks the food as if she's had nothing to eat for years. Just as I'm reaching for the food myself, I'm just reaching for the food myself when I feel the first drop of rain land on the back of my head. Oops. Uh-oh. Looks like the weather's not going to cooperate after all. Emmy glares at the sky as if that alone will hold back the rain. Damn you, weather! Damn you, accursed day star, for abandoning us! I very nearly believed she could do it. It's one heck of a glare. It had better cooperate. You hear me, Sky? You stop that raining right this instant! The Sky doesn't seem inclined to listen, despite the commanding tone she's taken with it. Instead, the rain seems to increase. Rin wrinkles her nose in distaste at this turn of events. Yes. Yell at rain. It rains even harder. Regrettable. What do you mean? Rin shrugs. I could paint this if I weren't out here. Shame to miss it all. She doesn't seem angry or annoyed, just a little disappointed. Emmy laughs in response to Rin's comment. Guess we should have stopped in that art supply store after all, huh? The rain increases a little more, offended that we haven't fled yet. Yeah, okay, we're getting to it. Despite the warm temperatures we've been enjoying, the rain is rather cold. I wish I'd brought my umbrella. Hey, we should probably head inside to keep dry. We're already pretty wet, Hiso. Line. Yeah, but we can dry off this way and maybe wait out the storm. You don't want to catch a cold or anything, do you? Emmy considers this for a moment. I can tell that part of her wants to stay out in the rain just to spite the weather. Unfortunately for her, the weather hardly cares about what we do. I suppose you're right. Where can we go? I don't have an answer for her. The area's still pretty new to me. Though I guess I'm slowly getting used to the school itself, the surrounding town remains a mystery. All I know is the art supply store, and that's only because we've just passed it. Fortunately, Emmy soon snaps her finger in triumph. That's it. There's a tea shop nearby. We could have some tea and dry out, no problem. That doesn't sound like a bad idea. Great, you know where that is? Emmy nods, looking fairly confident. Sure do. I think. But it'll be an adventure either way, right? Yes. But you see, the problem is getting onto these pointless, silly adventures. Not necessarily where we're going, but having the people around to go on the silly, pointless adventures. Then we can have as many pointless, silly adventures as we want. Adventures, huh? Well, I suppose we could use a little adventure. I think as long as we get out of the rain, I'll be happy. The picnic basket is a little lighter now, at least. Lead on. Rin and I follow Emmy as she weaves through the streets with something approaching confidence. Now left here. There, the Shanghai. Emmy beams triumphantly as she points to the tea shop. It seems fairly crowded inside, a symptom of the sudden rain, I'm sure. Welcome, can I... Oh, right. This outfit. I'm surprised to find out our waitress is none other than Yuko. She sure looks the part in her uniform. It's hard to believe that this is the same librarian from our school. Does she work 2 jobs? I guess that must be it. Oh, it's you. Yuko seems to know Emmy. Emmy grins brightly, pleased to be remembered. Hey, Yuko. Hi, Yuko. I didn't know you worked here, too. Do I know you? You seem awfully familiar, but I don't think I've ever seen you in here. We met at your other job, at the Yamako Library, remember? Her eyes widen in memory. Yeah, that's it. Nice to see you again. Oh no, this is bad. I should have remembered a customer's face. I'm sorry, I'm terribly sorry. Yuko goes from realization to panic in a split second, performing a series of high-speed bows. I narrowly avoid getting headbutted in the process. Whoa, hey, calm down. Listen, I wasn't a customer when we first met. In fact, I hadn't ever been to the Shanghai, so it's all right. Not the best display of logic, but it seems to relax her a little. Do you really think so? Yeah, I'm sure. Positive. Isn't that right, girls? Emmy has been watching this little drama unfold with considerable amusement. Yep, sure is. Well, okay. So, Yuko, going to seat us. Yuko nods and leads us to a corner booth, providing us with some small towels before taking our order.